All right,
Ready?
we're good.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marwan Porter. I'm a partner at the Cochran firm here with Reginald Reeves, who's also a partner, and some of my other partners who are scattered in the background at the Cochran firm. You know, we are here with Malik Brown's parents and other prominent leaders of our community. And we are gathered here today because we all know that there is an epidemic that is plaguing Jacksonville. There are senseless killings and senseless murders, and we have to put a stop to it now. And not only now, but right now. Otherwise, it's going to continue to happen, and there's going to be continuing grief and pain and suffering for many of us and all of us, because at the end of the day, you know, we are all connected. When we first heard about this case, you know, it saddened my heart every time I hear about one of these killings and our young brothers and sisters being killed. It hurts. But this even hit home more because the individual, Malik, who unfortunately, you know, was killed, is related to one of my lawyers in the office, Brittany. It's a family member, you know, of hers. So it hurts, and it needs to stop. And the way it's going to stop is not by using a whole bunch of fancy phrases or bad buzzwords. You know, the way it's going to stop is by implementing a plan. Okay, and Cochran, we are a community-based law firm, and for us, it's more than just making a whole lot of money. It's more than just doing well. You know, we like to do well while doing good, and we want to do good for the community. And we are here, and we are committed. We have a plan that we've been formulating, that we have started to implement, and we're going to continue to implement along with the rest of the community leaders here in Jacksonville so we can stop this. We need to give our young brothers and sisters options. We need to give them opportunity. We need to give them hope. We need to give them guidance. And we need to give them mentorship, so when a difficult situation is in their face, you know, they don't just look to the streets, you know, for answers. You know, they look to their elders and mentors and understand that they do have individuals like myself and the rest of the individuals you see here today that they could turn to, you know, for guidance. You know, and I would just ask all of, you know, my little young soldiers in the streets that when you're ready to pick up a pistol, be easy, fall back, you know, and understand that we're here to help you. We're here to give you options. You know, we don't want you to destroy anyone else's life, and we don't want you to destroy your life. And there's options for you, and we are going to infuse money. We're going to infuse resources into this community to create programming, to create mentorships, to create opportunity and guidance for all of you. Okay, and I think that that's the way it's going to happen. You know, we're here, and we are committed to utilizing a portion of the revenues that we make from this community and reinvesting it right back into this community. And we can do it, you know, we can do it together, but we have to stand together, and we have to learn to love one another as brothers and stop looking at each other as strangers. You know, we will not get anywhere that way. You know, divide and conquer is the oldest trick in the book. And collaboration and setting up alliances is a trick that is utilized as well. Okay, and so we have to learn to work together. We have to learn to collaborate and pool resources, and that's how we will win. We're going to thrive and strive or fall together. Okay, and it hurts all of us. So we are here, you know, to bring about opportunities to the whole community. It has to stop, because tomorrow it could be your brother, your sister, your child. Okay, and it's an epidemic, you know, that just is repetitious, you know, but we could change that cycle, and we could create economic development for all of us, you know, if we're committed to it. And we have the plan. We know how to do it. Okay, and we just need, you know, support from the community to make it happen. So again, you know, we're committed to it. The community leaders, we have bishops and the councilwoman, we are here and we are committed, and we want you all to know that there is hope and that there is opportunity and there is a plan. It's no more fancy phrases. We have a plan, and we're going to get together and we're going to implement that plan. And so with that said, I'm not sure, you know, the parents are still grieving, obviously. Malik had a young child, you know, who is here with us today. And it's a tough time, but they are strong, and I commend them, for being here and standing up, for the greater good of the whole community, even while they're going through such a tragic and tough time. So with that said, my partner, Reggie, may have a couple things to say.
Yes, I appreciate everybody being here today, and I appreciate the support of the community being here. I appreciate the family members being here with this mother, this father, this child's mother and the child. It's so tough. I feel like this is our second time being here within a week of a young black brother losing his life. This hits home. Like my employee Brittany's a family member. My son, I got a teenage son that knew Malik and told me about it. I have a son that's home for college on the Christmas break. So I know exactly. I can only imagine. Coming home to see family and losing your life, and it's just a tragic situation. So this hit very close to home. Where he died, my brother grew up in that same apartment. So this is a very close situation, and we're here for the family, and we here on behalf of as lawyers, but we're actually community leaders just by being black lawyers, and that puts us in a position where we can help. And we're going to look at the legal aspects of it, the security aspects of it, and see if there's something we can do. But it's knowledge now. There's certain places that we know that young black men are being killed, and we have to have some accountability. And so you got to step it up. JSO needs to step it up. The actual complexes that are high crime need to make sure that they step it up. This has been an epidemic for a long time. I grew up in this community. I've been seeing it my whole life, and I'm here to help change it, to help correct it, and I appreciate the community leaders and the councilwoman being here. I know you had some words that you wanted to say as well.
Well, first of all, thank you all for the invite this afternoon, and my condolences to the families. But, it's an urgency, and we've done many, many studies. We're tired of the studies. Culturally, we have seen this over and over, that we are seeing our young men and women killed, and I am committed to stepping up, working with the community, working with my colleagues, and we're here in unity to say it needs to stop. Senseless death, we don't even know why, and they're still out there in the community. And so I'm here today to support the family and to support the community and the pastors that stand with me today to let the families know that we are behind you and beside you. And we want to make sure that the Cochran firm not only represent this family, but other families out in the community who are experiencing senseless death that makes no sense. So I commit to you all as a city councilwoman that we need to identify the hot spots, because we know where they are. And we want to make sure that we have the resources. You talk about economic development. When you don't have economic development, it breeds crime. And so that means that we have to bring those services, those resources to those families who can't get out. A lot of them just don't have hope anymore. They've given up. And so there's no reason or rhyme that we have to continue to let this happen in our neighborhood. We got to take our neighborhoods back.
So, Malik, was an honor student. He was a scholar, athlete, and just a stellar individual who hails from this community. And we need to make sure, that his life is not taken in vain, and that he stands for something bigger. He stands for Jacksonville, for Duval County, to make this a better place. And I'm not sure if you want to say a couple words.
Yes. How y'all doing? I just wanted to thank everybody for, the support that I have gotten from social media, the law firm, my family, I just asked God, to help me and give me peace, and that's what he gave me for the past couple of days. So right now I'm at peace. My biggest concern is his child, she's 1 month old, and it's just sad, the black on black crime and whatever, all lives matter. you know, it has to stop. It really has to, you know, because I was sitting there talking to my son, and he was telling us about his next semester and that he had a night class and online class. And it's sad that, you know, I was about to order him a laptop to get sent to him so he can pick it up. You know, I always like order him food or groceries and he go pick it up down there, and, you know, I can't do that. My son's stuff is packed, you know, ready to go back down to Warner, and, you know, I don't wish this on nobody's life, you know. So it's just like, as a community, you know, we need to come together and stop the violence, period, you know. And all that, the white man and the police, it's about, you know, having to, you know, coming together and just stopping it, because something got to give. It really does. And I just want to thank you all for, you know, the love and support that I have gotten for the past few days. So I just want to thank y'all.
Your name is?
Well, my name is Antoinette
Last name?
Roberts.
Can you spell your first name for us?
ANTOINETT.
You said Roberts?
Yes, ROBERTS.
And you're Malik's mother?
I'm his mother.
And sir, you're his father?
Yes.
How are you doing with all this?
I don't know how to answer that question. They took my son. Took my son. I don't know.
I think one of the lawyers in my office who is related to Malik, you know, she may have a couple words on behalf of the family.
I just want to say, it has been previously stated already here today, I am a litigation attorney here with the Cochran firm. This is my family, and this is also my community. I was born and raised in the north side of Jacksonville, so I'm very related to this situation. Right now, we want to make a plea to the community. If anybody knows anything at all, any leads or any witnesses, please come forward. Please say something. We have to make the people who are responsible for the violence in our communities held accountable. So please, if you know anything, if you would like to come forward, you can come forward anonymously. Please say something. This is the time to stop the violence.
Ma'am, your name?
My name is Brittany Herndon.
How do you spell Brittany?
BRITTANY. Herndon, HERNDON.
And Reggie, your last name?
It's Reginell, REGANEL, last name Reeves, REE, V as in Victor, ES. And we have Pastor LeCount that want to say a few words.
Yes, I'm probably the only one in here could really feel this father's grief, because I lost a son to gun violence, just like that. His life was taken. So I know what he's going through with. And this is our plea that we plead to the community. It never wants to be a part of it until it hit home. So now is the time, because one day it may be your child. It may come at your door. So just as this father's grieving because of the loss of his son, it's become our responsibility to try to make sure that this don't happen to another father, that he don't have to lose his son towards gun violence, senseless killing. And we need to put a stop to it. And the only way we're gonna put a stop to it, we're gonna have to do it as a whole. Can't point fingers at the sheriff's office, can't point fingers as the pastors, can't point fingers at the politicians. It's all of us. We're gonna have to come together. The police, the politicians, the preachers, and the people. We're gonna have to come together if we're gonna get this stuff solved. We need to start solving some of these murders in our communities. And then they'll begin to cease, because whoever probably murdered his son probably already done committed 2 or 3 other murders. And we need to put a stop to it. We need to take them off the street. And the only way we're gonna get them off our streets, we're gonna have to pull together to get them off our streets.
Your name, sir?
My name is Robert LeCount,
Reverend?
Pastor Robert LeCount.
How do you spell that last name, sir?
It's spelled L-E-C-O-U-N-T. capital C-O-U-N-T.
And, sir, Father, we didn't get your name, sir.
Maurice Brown.
As a part of the faith-based community, and also as a pastor in the city of Jacksonville, I looked at the statistic regarding how many actual funerals that took place at our church. It's a devastating trend, and last year it was so heartbreaking to have to give the final words over a young man who died senselessly. So as a part of what we call the global initiative, provide training, education, and to look at the family structure and see where there's something we can do to help strengthen the family. Also deal with crime. How can we reduce the element of crime? People see us, but we need to be seen in our communities. We have programs, we have scouting programs that are quite effective. And wherever young people are, we have troops on the ground that pass our literature and try to be a mentor to these little boys. I'm a father, but there are many other fathers, like these parents here, who's suffering because of something that don't make any sense. A young man that had a bright future, solid foundational parents who loved the child, but yet they adopt that son in their home. So it's become my responsibility and all of our responsibility to do all we can to make sure that these kind of sensitive incidents cease to be a part of our community.
Ms. Roberts, no one has come, well, that we know of, has come forward with any information, witnesses, anything of that nature. Has that been a difficulty for you all?
At this time, that's not my really focus. I'm just trying to get it day by day so I can bury my son, you know, and try to be there for his child. So my mind right now is like I'm numb, and I don't know if I'm going to coming, but it's like I got to do what I have to do, you know, right now to get through the day so I can bury my son.
Ms. Roberts, for someone who has never met Malik Brown, can you describe him briefly?
He was very quiet, you know. He was a humble child. You know, he was very respectful, and, you know, he kept to himself, you know, but, you know, he knew a lot of people. And, you know, with me, they know education was the first thing, you know. I don't know anything about sports, but when it came to education, I was on them, because if they get a C, I hate C's, and I was like, you know, you got to bring it up. But I still encouraged them, and, you know, he always kept his grades up, you know, and encouraged him on different things. But he was a very respectful child, you know.
And lastly, what's your message to the community for anyone who may have known something about this crime?
Right now, I don't know. I just pray that, you know, I just leave it in God's hands right now, because God has the last say so of everything. So I just keep praying every day, you know, that His will be done in this case. So
I have a message. I looked up in the statistics from the Florida Times Union for 2019. There was 158 murders. 100 of them were black men. Black men are about 14% of this community, and 63% of the murders. So I just challenge us to do better this year in 2020. Let's just do better in 2020. We're starting off bad in 2020, and we need to do better. So that's my message. I challenge the community. Let's do better. Like anything, you see something, you know something, say something. Let's hold each other accountable, and let's get some justice for this family.
Pastor in the back in the gray suit, last to speak. Your name?
Robinson, last name, R-O-B-I-N-S-O-N. Robinson, first name is Edward.
Edward Robinson.
I have a question for the attorneys. How exactly was Mr. Brown involved? Was he a bystander? They're calling this a robbery. Was he being robbed? Like, we're not being told details on, because there is another man that was shot and he's survived.
Yeah, I mean, we are still, you know, and as we all know, this is pretty brand new, so we're still doing our own independent investigation into, you know, how it happened. My understanding from the information we've received thus far is that it was a robbery, and unfortunately, Malik was killed, and the other individual, you know, was wounded, thankfully. You know, but it was a robbery in one of the apartment complexes, you know, here locally, and we're going to be looking into that as well, from any, you know, liability that the apartment complexes may have. I mean, when you know that you're in an area where there's high crime, you're collecting rents, you are getting paid, a bunch of money. It's incumbent upon you to make sure that your community is safe. Did you have proper lighting? Did you have proper security? Did you have proper surveillance? Especially in this day and age where, we've been on notice that there are mass shootings and mass killings going on everywhere. We all have to do our very best to make sure that, the people who are patronizing and spending their hard-earned money, to help our lifestyles are safe and protected. So, but we are looking into that. And as we get, additional information, we definitely will be letting you know. And just to piggyback on what my partner said, we do have to do better as a community. But, us at the Cochran Firm, we are committed, to investing resources, into our communities. You all come to us for representation. We do well. And we're not just going to take the money that we make and put it into our kids' trust funds. We are going to reinvest it into all of our children. And so, that's our commitment to you all. We have to do better in 2020, and we're going to do better by helping, right? By coming up with a plan to implement different resources and to give resources to where, the individuals who are even responsible for these crimes, take a second thought and say, hey, there's another way. This is not the only way. I mean, I don't think that the individuals who are committing these crimes just choose to commit these crimes because they have nothing better to do, with their lives. This is what, they've seen. This is what they've grown up with. These are the opportunities that they have, and that's what they do. So we have to provide the communities, with additional opportunities, and we will. And then I encourage each and every one of you, do a little bit. I mean, it just, amazes me. And I was talking another, crime that happened in another part of the country, and they were talking about Chinatown and how, Chinatown was owned, by their community. We need to do the same thing. We have to work together. We have economic power within, but we don't recycle our resources and work together. Once we do that, we will change a lot of the ills that are plaguing our communities and society. And so we're going to do our part, and we just ask that you do your part as well.
Thank you.